Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to VGU Previews, the Titanfall Beta. Oh, yeah. I'm Dom Expert Coles from VideoGamesUncovered.com, and today we're going to have a look at the beta. I'm going to show you what it's all about, and also give you some of my impressions after playing the game. So, obviously, Titanfall. You shoot things as a pilot. You shoot things as a mech. Or, in this case, a Titan. It's a pretty darn good game from Respawn Entertainment. But, of course, enough chitter-chatter. Let's go in. But before we do go into the main part of the game, allow me to just quickly show you this. Look at all the different servers this game has. West Europe, North Europe, East US, North Central US, South Central US, West US, Southeast Asia, East Asia. It's really good variety of servers. And by the looks of things, it's not going to region lock you like, let's say, I don't know, some other games out there, which is fantastic. Really, really good. As well as that, we can have a quick look over the options to give you an idea of things. You can have mouse and keyboard or controller with this, because of course, this game is also out on the Xbox One. I'm currently playing this on the PC version. But I have played this on both mouse and keyboard and controller, so I'll be sure to tell you how they both play out later on in this video. This is a funky little control about automatic sprinting. You can have it never on, so you have to do it yourself. Delayed, so that it automatically starts sprinting when moving after a short delay. Or you always sprint. I like to always be sprinting because I'm kind of a fast-paced gamer myself. But that's completely up to you, and you can change that depending on your playstyle, which is absolutely fantastic. And then of course we have the audio settings, nothing really big there. And I just wanted to show you some funky stuff in the options, but let's just go right in and dive, or should I say fall, into Titanfall. Okay, so before we jump into a game, let's have a look at some of the customization options. These are your loadouts. You have to be a specific level in order to unlock your pilot loadouts and your Titan loadouts, but once you have reached that level, you can customize them as you please. Obviously there aren't nearly as many customization options at the moment because the game is in beta, so I can't criticize it there, but the options are pretty damn solid. Let's have a look at this one over here. I like to call this my sniper. As you can see, you can pick your primary weapon ranging from the carbine, the shotgun, SMG and the sniper, and a brand new interesting weapon known as the smart pistol. As you can see with this class, I'm running with the longbow DMR. But the interesting thing with the smart pistol is that if you fire it from the hip, and if you're close enough to an enemy, whether it be a grunt or a pilot, I'll be sure to go into detail of what the differences of those are when we dive into a game. When you're within range, it will automatically lock onto your target and show dots. When your dots start going from green to yellow to red, defining how much damage you're going to be doing to that opponent. When they turn red, and when you have enough dots on your target, that basically means, okay, you'll kill them. But when you fire the gun will automatically shoot those bullets at that target. So they are incredibly accurate bullets. But of course you have to get close enough for the lock-on to work. You can fire down the sights, but it's obviously not as powerful as something like the carbine or the SMG or especially the DMR. But it's an interesting little tactic that I have seen many people use. I am not as big of a fan as the smart pistol now. I prefer the SMG in close combat situations. Mainly because if you look at the difference, yes, the SMG has less damage, but I prefer the accuracy at close range. And I'm somewhat of a person where I tend to be in more close combat situations or long-range combat situations than mid-range situations that involve probably the carbine or the smart pistol. When I first started out, I was really addicted to the smart pistol, and heck, yeah, I was. But when I unlocked the SMG, I pretty much transitioned my love to a new gun. But when you pick your gun, you also have the ability to put on add-ons. In order to unlock these add-ons, as you can see here, I've only got the 6x scope for the DMR at the moment. In order to unlock these, you need to fulfill challenges within games. So, if I wanted an ACOG scope, or an AOG in this case, I need to kill 5 grunts with the DMR. It isn't hard, but I've just been concentrating on pilots with this gun. Or a 4.5 times zoom scope instead of a 6, you need to kill 25 enemies. Quite cool. Because now it gets you wanting to obviously use these weapons to unlock all the add-ons. But as well as those add-ons, you've also got these modifications. You can either have factory issues that add nothing really. I have a stabilizer on this to increase accuracy. You can add a suppressor so that it reduces damage and muzzle flash, and you're not as identifiable as you would normally be. Or you can have extended magazines. Of course, all of these do require their own separate challenges as well. Plenty of challenges to be had. Now, as well as your primary weapon and your sidearm, you also have the Titan weapon, or the anti-Titan weapon, should I say. These anti-Titan weapons are specifically what you would think. They're made to take out Titans. Do not fire these weapons at pilots. They do either nothing or little to nothing. And plus, if you were fighting a pilot that had a gun rather than a giant rocket or a giant chain gun, yeah, you're probably going to die. But these are quite cool. I prefer the rocket at the moment, but the Sidewinder is just as good. I haven't found any complaints with either of them, and they are really good for obviously taking out Titans. And the sidearm is self-explanatory. We only have 2 sidearms in the beta at the moment. The auto pistol, which I think is absolutely fantastic. It is a rapid fire pistol, which is fantastic at closer ranges, which of course, if you know me, yep, I like my close range combat. And the Hammond, which is your standard, more powerful alternative to the pistol. Doesn't have a rapid fire mode, but it's your powerful alternative, so why not? The Equalizer versus the Speedster, that's what I like to think. But sadly the sidearms don't have their own modifications, which I can understand, but maybe they will have their own modifications in the future. Same with the anti-Titan weapons. Maybe you can unlock some mods after killing some Titans or killing some people with sidearms. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if they do that when the full game's released. Tactical abilities. These abilities are hotkeyed to Q on the keyboard. I can't exactly remember which button it is on the Xbox, and I do apologise for that. But in the beta, you really only have 2. Stim you unlock at a later level, just so you know, but everyone starts off with Cloak. Basically makes you invisible. However, it is not quite effective against pilots. That is very true. Because when a pilot walks past you, they'll know that you're cloaked. It's one of those cloaking things where you can stand still, you can walk around, and people will know that you're cloaked and they can still see you. It just makes it slightly harder for them to realise that yes, it is you cloaked. But that doesn't mean that it's bad, it just means that it's balanced. And I like balance. But then you also have Stim. Boosts movement speed and health regeneration for a short period of time. Very nice. And very good for all you fast-paced people out there. I prefer cloaking, because I like to sneak up behind people or run away and hide and then come back out of nowhere and be like, hey! And then we have our ordnance. At the moment we only have frag grenades and arc grenades. Frag grenades, well, you guessed it, they're frag grenades. You throw them, they blow up. Simple as that. Arc grenades are different. Instead of mostly damaging humans, whether they be grunts or whether they be pilots, arc grenades are better off against Titans. Because you throw these at Titans and the Titans will suffer damage. It's basically, think of it as an EMP on Titans, because it can really screw them over, and it screws over their shields quite a bit. I prefer going with arc grenades now that I've unlocked them, because you have to unlock them after a certain level cap, and they are really good. And if you are someone who likes to jump onto a Titan, rodeo them, and take them out by being on their backs, arc grenades are your best bet. Arc grenade them, jump on them, Boom. Get the job done. But as well as that, you also have 2 tier kits. Your tier 1 kits, which come with 3 different ones in the beta. Enhanced parkour, that allows you to wall run and wall hang for longer. Explosive packs, that gives you more ordnance ammo. And power cells, that makes recharging of your tactical ability faster. I prefer the power cell on this class because, well, I'm a stealther, and I'm a stealther that likes being fast paced, and by the way, I've got a DMR on this class, so if I do need to go cloaked and move position from one higher up position to another, the cloaking helps just to help me get there without bumping into any pesky grunts. And then our tier 2 kits. Our tier 2 kits are mostly involving Titans. At least at the moment, because these are all we have in the beta. Dome Shield Battery. Piece of kit that extends the duration of your Titan's Dome Shield after Titanfall. Haven't seen many people use this. And I haven't seen much of a use for it. I have seen one person use it very well in the game, where this one allied Titan was incredibly weak and was in the middle of battling 2 Titans simultaneously. He went back into a tight corridor, and this Titan dropped down in front of him with a Dome Shield battery, and the shield came up and protected the weak Titan from the 2 Titans that were fighting him. Then, when the pilot got into his Titan, turned around, they turned the fight back, effectively, and they ended up winning the 2-on-1 fight with a 2-on-2 counter-attack, which was really well put together. So, that's one way you can really pull off Dome Shield Battery, and heck, if you've got some Dome Shield plays, let me know. It'd be really interesting to see. My favourite at the moment is Minion Detector. Displays both friendly and enemy grunts and spectres on your minimap at all times, which is pretty damn good, because you can always see where everything is. Warpfall Transmitter, which accelerates your Titanfalls substantially using short-range jump technology. I haven't unlocked it yet, sadly, but it's okay. If you just want to get your Titan in as fast as you possibly need to, this is the ability for you. I mostly see people try using Warpfall Transmitter when they're bringing in a Titan on top of an enemy Titan to immediately destroy it, which is probably the best bet for Warpfall Transmitter. Whilst with Dome Shield Battery, you want to use your Titanfall as a defensive maneuver. You want to use Warpfall to make your Titanfall an offensive maneuver. See how you please. It'll be interesting to see what you guys like to go as. But those are the tier kits. And as well as for tiers, you can also change gender. And from what I understand, depending on what... Like, as soon as I changed to the DMR, this was the default character look that I had. Now I'm hoping that in the full game there's some more customization options, like maybe being able to customize the color scheme of your characters, maybe even being able to unlock like some different hats, different pieces of armor, different bits and bobs, maybe like different skins for your weapons and all that jazz. But of course this is a beta, so you can take what you get, really. Obviously I like the female characters. I think this is the best looking female character, because at the moment in the beta I've only seen this female character and this female character, and they both look really good. That's really the only male character that I like that you can see there. But they're all really fun, and that's just pilot customization. Now this is what we love. Titan customization. So in Titan customization you can choose from chassis. There's only one available in the beta for the moment, that is the Atlas. But we'll get to something a little bit later, where I'll tell you a story of something that happened to a friend of mine that has been in the beta, where he actually was able to play in a different chassis. I'll tell you that in a sec. But the chassis come with a basic understanding of what kind of chassis they are, as in their durability, speed and acceleration, how many dashes they can perform, and the core that they have. Every chassis comes with a different core that does something different, whether it would increase your shields, increase your health, whatnot. In the default one, the Atlas, it increases your damage output for a period of time, which is actually really handy when you're trying to turn back a firefight against other Titans. Very handy. And of course, you have your primary weapons. We have 3 at the moment. We have a 40mm cannon, which is my personal favourite, that just throws explosive rounds. Think of it as like a grenade launcher. A semi-auto grenade launcher at someone. And there is an upgrade you can get for the 40mm cannon, which obviously turns it into burst fire, which is pretty crazy. Yes, it gets rid of the damage, but the damage is compensated by the fact that you can just keep firing it at people's faces, which is great. The quad rockets. Think of this as the shotgun of the Titan, but it fires four rockets that then spin and get a bigger radius as the further they travel. It's a bit of an awkward weapon. I personally don't like it, but I've seen many people that do like it, and they tend to go really in your face with this and then just blast you with all 4 rockets, and it can do incredible damage, as you can see to the stat. And then we have a chain gun, which is obviously the machine gun alternative, which a lot of people like to go with. High precision, great range, good magazine capacity, all round great weapon, no complaints there. But I like the 40mm. I've only got factory issue at the moment, but you can obviously unlock burst fire, extended magazines, and all the other mods that you possibly can get through different challenges. I have to kill 15 titans and 100 enemies with this cannon, so that's actually a really big challenge. Now, with every Titan, you also get a tactical ability. These abilities will allow your Titan to perform different things on the hotkey Q on the keyboard, just like your cloaking abilities or your stim abilities as a pilot. But what will happen here is you'll be able to use either Vortex Shield, which has been the most hyped up ability that you've probably seen in all these Titanfall videos everywhere, which is where your Titan puts up his hand, generates a shield. It basically does the whole Neo from Matrix maneuver, where it just captures all fire that's thrown into his face and throws it all back at them. It doesn't last forever, it does have a timeout, but it is very good. Especially very good at stopping the enemy from firing at you completely, because that's what I've seen many people do, which is great. And you know what? I completely forgot to talk about electric smoke. Now, there is something you need to know about electric smoke. I think this ability is completely underrated. I haven't got it yet, but I have seen many people use it, and man, is this really good. As you can see here, the electric smoke system deploys a dense electrical charged smoke cloud that damages enemy titans and pilots. It can be used in many ways. One of the most common is to kill enemy pilots who are attempting to rodeo your Titan. This is why electric smoke is actually incredible, because there are a lot of people that will constantly try to rodeo your Titan, because that is a very easy way to take your Titan out. Electric smoke completely gets rid of that. And heck, if you're close to another Titan while that's happening, you're damaging them constantly throughout that fight. I'm planning to switch to electric smoke once I've unlocked it, because man, that's awesome. But you also have ordnance weapons on the Titan as well, just like your grenades. But instead of grenades, you have rocket salvos that just throws a ton of rockets at your opponents, which is really nice, with manual aimed fire, or salved warheads that have lock-on homing missiles instead. In order to fire these missiles, though, you have to lock on to an enemy Titan. It suits 2 different playstyles. I prefer rocket salvo because I just like to go in there and try blow things up and throw things in your face and punch you and all that jazz. And then you also have tier kits for your Titans, such as, well, I'll talk about nuclear ejection in a second because it's my personal favourite. But we have regen booster, being able to regenerate your shields faster. Very good because your shields do take a while to regenerate, just to balance things out. And fast autoloader, an autoload mechanism that makes your ordnance available more quickly, which is actually pretty darn nice, and I've seen quite a few people use it, but I think I've seen people use the most nuclear ejection. When your Titan dies, it goes nuclear and blows things up. Oh yeah, I love it. Like, you just stand in the middle of a firefight, blow your Titan up, and look at all the points you get for your team. It's fantastic. But as well as that, you also have a tier 2 kit. At the moment we only have 2. Auto eject. automatically ejects you out of a Titan when your Titan is doomed. Because effectively, when your Titan gets down to a certain health threshold, your Titan goes into a doomed state. In this doomed state, you'll have to eject by rapidly pressing the E button on your keyboard. Not many people remember to mash the E button when it comes to eject, because there's no prompt that comes up on screen to remind you, apart from obviously the tutorial. But auto eject is very, very handy. I like to use it with the going nuclear, because you go nuclear, you immediately eject when it's time to eject, and if the enemy Titan is still alive, land on top of him, rodeo, and take him out. That's what I've been doing anyway. And the other one is Survivor, which is again very, very good if you're using the going nuclear ability. Your Titan will lose health at a slower rate when doomed, allowing you to fight longer before having to abandon the Titan. Which means that yes, you will have to manually eject, but you do last longer, so you can do slightly more damage before you go down. So it's a matter of, do you want to immediately leave your Titan and then hope for your Titan's explosion will do everything for you, or do you want to preferably just go in there, eject from your Titan as soon as it's about to go off, and just watch as your Titan just goes boom boom? You decide. But as you can see, you get 3 different customized slots for your Titans, and 3 for your pilots. You can potentially unlock more in the full game when it comes out, and I'm sure that's going to be a thing. But this is also a thing. Burn cards. These are, in my opinion, a very good and interesting addition to the game. So this is how they work. Let's say, for example, I'm going to add one of these onto my available slots, which as you can see, you have 3 slots which you unlock over time as you level. I'm going to put Prosthetic Legs here. So, in the 2 slots, I have Prosthetic Legs and Packet Sniffer. Let's say, at the beginning of a match, I wanted to know where everyone was, or I wanted a movement speed boost from the beginning of a match. I can start off a match with Prosthetic Legs. All I have to do is select it in a menu when I go into the game, and I have faster movement speed. Does it last the entire game? No. It lasts until you die, hence why they're called burn cards. Because when you get burned, they burn. And it just says there, you may use burn cards when you are dead as well. So when you die and lose a burn card, you can use your other burn card, which will activate as soon as you respawn. So in this case, I'll be able to start off with either great movement speed, or being able to see everyone around me periodically over time. Pretty nice. And as you can see here, you have different types. Some are passive. Like some are passive abilities that involve radar detection. Some involve your actual pilot. Some involve your abilities, such as obviously being able to call in your Titan and the charge time for your Titanfall and your core charges. Amped weaponry that can do a heck of a lot more damage or have different abilities than your ordinary weapons. In this case, you'll have a high capacity auto mag launcher, a double ammo capacity sidewinder, which is pretty crazy, or a rapid fire Spitfire LMG, which is pretty nice. Well, obviously, many more of that came from. I think the best one that I've seen is the Amped Smart Pistol. And you also have stuff that affects your ordnance, such as Shock Rocks, which I think is probably one of the best abilities out there. Replaces ordnance weapon with infinite magnetic arc grenades. Screw up Titans much, please. But burn cards is a very good addition. You unlock burn cards for more times you don't die, and basically you'll average out getting 1 burn card per match, roughly, which is great. And I do believe you can have a maximum of up to 30 cards in your burn card deck until you have to, well, start using them, which is fantastic. So you can collect them and then you can use them as you wish. Very, very nice. So I've gone through everything. And before we jump into the game once and for all, let me just talk about the tutorial, also known as the training area. It is very, very good. The first time you load up the game, you'll be put straight into a tutorial, which lasts roughly 20 to 25 minutes, taking you through all the major mechanics of the game. Very good. I love the tutorial. I think it's one of the best aspects of the game. And this is just the beta, so the tutorial on full release could be even more in-depth. It could have more to tell you, could introduce you to some more mechanics of different alternate weapon types, if there's any different weapon types like the smart pistol. But it's very good to introduce you basically how everything works. Some people have said it's tedious. It's not really that tedious. And it gets you ready for the game ahead, which I think is fantastic. Really good job there from Respawn Entertainment. So ladies and gentlemen, when we return to VGU Previews Titanfall, we will get into a game, we will show you the gameplay, and I will tell you my thoughts on playing the Titanfall beta. Until then guys, I'm Don the Expert of Calls from VideoGamesUncovered.com, and I will be seeing you on the other side.